Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing for this Wednesday. Yesterday, our County of Monterey staff provided an update on its work related to the Moss Landing battery fire. At today's briefing, we are very pleased to be able to get an update on work at the facility and information about next steps there. We have a representative from Vistra with us today, and we will hear from our Environmental Health Bureau Chief, Rick Encarnacion. Additionally, we have Ramon Albizu with the USEPA and Hasti Javid with Cal EPA. They have joined us and will be available for questions after presentations. We'd like to start with Dave Yaeger to give us an update on what is happening at the facility. Dave, thanks very much for being here today.
Yes, thank you so much. Can you confirm audio is coming through?
Gotcha.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the time this afternoon. My name is David Yaeger with Vistra. I'm a Director of Project Development for the company. So today I want to give an update on site activities. As you all will know, over the last few months, Vistra's worked closely with the US EPA and other regulators to develop an initial battery removal, discharge, and transportation plan. Under EPA's guidance and oversight, we are preparing to safely remove all currently accessible batteries from the Moss 300 building. These are the portion of the batteries that were not impacted by the fire. We will then lower their state of charge so they can be safely transported off-site. I'm here today to share an update on that process with you, but please understand that these procedures are still evolving and that details may change in the coming weeks and months. Safety is our number one priority. We've been working over the last few months to design a battery removal procedure which prioritizes worker safety, community needs, environmental protection, and battery stability. After receiving the EPA's input and subsequent review of the proposed battery removal procedures, workers were trained on it and will be conducting physical run-throughs of that work process next week. We expect to begin incrementally removing the batteries that were not affected by the fire, discharging them, essentially draining them, and transporting them off-site this summer. Batteries that weren't impacted by the fire are anticipated to be stable for transportation once they're discharged. From there, they'll be sent to a recycling facility according to all DOT and EPA standards. Currently, we're reviewing proposals from contractors to manage that transportation. We estimate that it'll take several months to remove the bulk of the currently accessible batteries that were not damaged by the fire. I'd like to note, removing the damaged batteries is a whole separate work process that will come later. This can't happen until the building structure stabilization is complete, following the removal of the intact batteries so that workers can safely access the compromised areas of the facility. Batteries in those areas may not be recyclable and will be individually evaluated, processed as deemed necessary, and may be sent off-site to a facility out of state for final disposal. Let's see, now turning to environmental testing. The community sampling efforts led by Vistra and Monterey County's Environmental Health Bureau continue to show no threats to public health or agriculture. Vistra continues to work on additional environmental testing, and we're in the process of developing the second phase of the community sampling plan. We expect the second phase to include 2 natural areas near the Moss Landing facility, which were not accessible during the first phase of testing. We also continue to conduct on-site water sampling in coordination with the California Water Resource Control Board. It's important to note that all water from the Moss 300 building has been collected, isolated, held in contained areas on the property, and disposed of appropriately by licensed waste and disposal service transporter. Finally, I want to note that we will be conducting a fence replacement project around a facility along Highway 1 and Dolan Road in the coming weeks, so you can expect to see some activity around there. This is an energy industry requirement for cybersecurity and physical security of the battery storage systems. The work is the normal part of operation of the facility and is not related to the ongoing recovery operations. That concludes the report this afternoon. We will continue to provide updates on recovery milestones via our website, and that's mosslandingresponse.com. So thank you for your time this afternoon.
David, thank you so much for that update. I'm hoping you will stand by for questions from our press partners who are present. We're going to take questions at the end of all of our presentations because we have some people with some time constraints and we want to get everything in. Now we'd like to turn to Rick Encarnacion with our Environmental Health Bureau for an update and a look at our brand new dashboard.
Thank you, Mia. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Rick Encarnacion, Environmental Health Bureau Chief, Director of Environmental Health. The Environmental Health Bureau continues to fulfill our role as your local health inspector. We're coordinating with our federal partners and our state partners. Federal partner, mainly the USEPA, who's responsible for overseeing the cleanup inside the facility of Vistra, and our other state partners, many state partners, who are helping us with our community sampling plan, which the County of Monterey, we are the lead for that. As Mr. Yaeger mentioned, that is continuing so that we can make a full assessment and complete our human health assessment. And quickly, I'd like to turn it over to our Environmental Health Program Coordinator, Ms. Nikki Fowler, to go over our newest addition for pushing out information, our GIS dashboard map.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully you can see my screen here. This is the Moss Landing incident page. And so this is where everyone is accustomed to going to. To get to the GIS dashboard, I recommend you hit the testing and monitoring page. And then there's a live link here underneath the banner here. So we'll just click right in here. And what you're gonna land on here is a welcome screen. Ultimately, it provides an overview of the purpose of the dashboard and reminds folks that the website is a living document, meaning that the data and findings can be updated, modified, or removed as conditions evolve. And that ultimately we're providing it for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice. It includes a link here directly back to the incident page. Here is a link to a glossary of helpful terms. And at the bottom here, we have an opportunity for feedback. It's basically an email link that will go directly to the county EHB. And this is a happy little legal disclaimer about GIS data and the county's policies there. So once we dive in here, we land on this page. We're calling it the About page. Ultimately, I'm going to close this information tab here for a second. We wanted to provide to folks just a reminder that not all data should be considered equal. Screening tools help identify concerns, but lab analysis is needed for accurate chemical evaluation. That's this first part. In here, we get into detection versus health-related criteria. A reminder that just because something has been detected doesn't necessarily mean it is a health risk. Agencies use health-based criteria to interpret environmental chemical results. And then lastly, the data integrity. We had to reformat data to make it work within the GIS system, and any errors are unintentional and would be corrected upon being brought to the county's attention. So that said, the dashboard is comprised primarily of these tabs here along the bottom. The first one is the US EPA's soot deposition plume model that can be zoomed in or out as somebody sees fit. At any time, if you want to reset yourself, there's a reset button here at the bottom, and it'll kind of take you back to the beginning and start things from scratch. We also have in here separate tabs for soil data, water data, air data, and screening data. Screening is going to be surface wipe samples and XRF instrument detections. Ultimately, what we have here is a summary at the top that says of the 484 test results that have been completed, that is not sites that were evaluated, that is ultimately analytes evaluated. 484 results have come in. 4 soil results were at or above the identified health-related criteria, and the remainder were below. Here we have where the gray circles indicate kind of the frequency of testing, how many tests were in a given area, and the green dot is an indication that there was an exceedance in this spot. If an individual clicks on the green dot, it lets you know that there was a detection here and that it was at or above a health-related criteria. It was cobalt. The result was 32.9, where the standard established by the Department of Toxic Substances Control is 23 milligrams per kilogram. And I noticed here that the link isn't working to the Cobalt Talks facts, so we'll be working on getting that corrected. But ultimately, there's going to be 2 web links here where people can go to learn more about the criteria. And if there is any information on the county's site, this will be linked here. So that can just be closed as well. We have some global filters here along the side where an individual can filter by a particular analyte of concern. Let's look at cobalt. By using that filter, this is going to narrow this down to there are 45 cobalt results within the map. And if we want to filter it further to say only show me those that are above the health criteria, we can filter it down further. And there's just those 2. Again, if we want to, we can turn those back off and show me everything. And the map kind of is dynamic and refreshes in real time. If we wanted to know in particular what's happening in my neck of the woods, we can search for a particular road or an address or an APN number, and the map will zoom into that location. When we do that, this data table here updates to reflect the 128 soil test results that were included on this table. An individual can choose to download the data that's within this table here by clicking this button and clicking download source data. It does generate a pop-up, takes a couple of seconds to go through, but then ultimately the file is available as an Excel file for their use. Again, this is the soil tab. We also have water, air, and screening. It remains at the extent that you're looking at between the 4 data tables. And at any time you click the refresh, takes you back to the beginning, and you can start over. So that's just kind of the long and short of it. We wanted to show you its capability, but invite you all to click around, use the dashboard, and respond with feedback if you have questions or suggestions for improvement. Thank you.
Nikki, thank you very much. Rick, do you have any thing you want to add before we open it up for questions?
No, I just like to say the team who put the GIS map together, it was a lot of hard work to put all the information together, and we hope that it does provide the community and people interested the information that we have. It's about being transparent and about sharing information.
And thank you. And this was a tremendous amount of work, and really kudos to all the staff for putting this together. And it's something that the community really wanted to see. So now we've got some questions that have come in from our media partner, and we're going to start with a question. This may be for Vistra, but it may not be. I'm going to throw it out there and see who can answer it. Is the Elkhorn battery storage facility still coming back online on June 1st? Is it safe to do so, and how?
I'll just chime in that's a PG&E question from Vistra's perspective, it's separate owner.
And that is my understanding too, but I wanted to make sure that I wanted to ask it because it was a request to ask. So sure. We're going to refer the reporter to PG&E for a response on that. Another question. This is for the USEPA, and I'm hoping I see staff on there. According to the county's dashboard, the EPA reported 95 air quality test results that were at or above health-related criteria in the 2 weeks after the battery fire. Residents continue to hear the message that little health damage was done, but 95 air test results above healthy levels seems like a reasonable cause for concern. Can you contextualize these results?
That question is actually should be for Cal EPA or the county, since they're the lead for activities outside the facility.
Thank you, Ramon, very much. Hasti, I believe you're here with us from Cal EPA.
Yes. And so, sorry, I need to listen. I need to read the question.
I know it's a long one. Take a second.
Mm-hmm. So that's actually not a question that I can answer on the health related side. For the air data, we have our Air Resources Board that's continuously looking at the data that they're provided to determine if there's any health risks. They have not seen any health risks, so I can't speak to what the question is referring to.
And so, I mean, we'll take back this question and see if there's another avenue to get additional information and respond. Elena will respond directly to your question.
And I can say if that information was provided in the community survey, that is not something that Cal EPA is involved with. Where the information about exposures or health related issues from community members, we haven't been involved in that process.
Thank you for clarifying that. Our next question, I'm going to go ahead and ask it because I said that I would, but I'm not sure anyone here could answer this. Are there any updates on AB 303, that is the bill Don Addis introduced to improve safety and restore local oversight for energy storage facilities? I have not had an update, and I'm not sure anyone on this call has had an update, but I want to make sure. And I'm not hearing any response.
Right, no updates from Environmental Health Bureau with regards to pending codes, but if there are any updated codes that would pass and that would affect local activities, definitely Environmental Health Bureau would be involved with regards to anything related to hazardous materials storage or management.
Thank you for that. And here's our next question. This is also for you, Rick. In addition to the air test results, testing by the California DTSC, Elkhorn Slough Reserve, and Santa Cruz County showed 4 soil test results above healthy screening levels and 21 water tests above healthy levels. For people who were exposed to soil and water in the areas with these results, what should they take away from the results?
Yes, thank you for that question. I think it's also kind of related to the last question that was asked with regards to results and what people should do and what should they do with all of this information. And with respects to all of the information that's being put out, it is information that we're being transparent so that people would know what we know. It also speaks to the importance of continued testing and monitoring. If people look back at all of the information that we put out on our web pages and the interpretations from our state partners, it really does point to the need for continued monitoring and testing, which is what we're doing. And with that, we're putting all the information out there. Now, it's information. It's not the ongoing activities or whatever the actions as a result of the results that would come out. The local agencies, environmental health included, Environmental Health Bureau, would consult with our state and federal partners to take action with whatever those results are. So what should people do? Number one, stay informed. Number one, stay informed and get the information from the right source. We have all of our information posted online for people to see what we know. And then whatever regulatory action that we need to follow up on, I can guarantee you from the Environmental Health Bureau, at least from the Environmental Health Bureau's perspective, we will follow up on those actions to ensure responsible parties take responsible action. So with regards to people's health and their concerns, definitely this is our top priority. This is why we're doing all of this. This is why we're being transparent. This is why we're sticking to this at the local level, ensuring that we're talking to the right people, ensuring that we're talking to the right regulators, Environmental Health Bureau being one of the regulators, but definitely consulting with our federal and state partners so that the local health department can take the lead on ensuring responsible actions are taken by the responsible parties. So what should people do with this information? If there are health concerns, definitely you should, and you have the right to, and you should consult with your medical professional or advisor and follow through with that. We have people available to answer questions. The Environmental Health Bureau, again, is a regulator. We're not medical professionals, right? We're the ones who are trying to collect the data, and then we'll try to analyze the data, and then we'll do our proper follow through, whether that's enforcement, whether that's cooperation, ensuring that there's proper monitoring and proper follow-up. That's what we're responsible to do. So this is all information, everybody, right? It's information that we're putting out. and we're taking very deliberate, careful actions to ensure that the information that's put out is proper. It may be hard to understand because it's information. It's a lot of information. But with regards for myself being a regulator, it's information that I will use to ensure that I will do what my job is to follow up.
Thank you for that answer, and a very thorough answer. Rick, this may also be a question for you. Does the county have a timeline for when a toxicologist would be hired to interpret and analyze all the data on the dashboard, and when that analysis might get presented to the Board of Supervisors and the public? This is something that came up from yesterday's board meeting.
Yes, I believe our CAO, Sonia De La Rosa, mentioned that she will consult with our county council to lock down those logistics, so I don't have any update there.
Thank you. And then this question, David, this is for you. I'm glad to see you're still here. How are the cleanup efforts going? Do you mind going over the timeline again?
Yeah, sure. I probably went through this a little quick earlier. So just to kind of break it down, there's multiple steps to this. The first step, we're focused on the non-damaged batteries from the event. So that's what the collaborative procedure with the EPA, US EPA, has been all about and focused on. That work is anticipated to start in the coming months and through the summer. So that's the removal of those non-impacted batteries, discharging them, then transporting them off-site. The timeline for the damaged batteries is still not known at this point. So that's going to be a separate procedure that we'll take as a phase 2.
Thank you very much for that. And then, Rick, I have a follow-up question on the question that you just answered. The reporter is hoping for some additional information. The question was about takeaways from the particular soil and water test results. Do we not know perhaps what these takeaways might be because there hasn't been an analysis of the data yet?
Sure, right. Of the samples that we're taking, right, that's correct. We do not have the results yet. We do not have the complete analysis. From the ones back in January, the screening results, there are results and interpretations posted. We can make sure that the links are up there and available. It is available, those initial interpretations, which again mentioned more studies are needed, which is why we're continuing with the community sampling plan.
Thank you, Rick. And then a follow-up question also for you, David, just a follow-up from the timeline that you gave. The question is, what would the next steps for Vistra be once the cleanup efforts are done? Kind of what, you can't really give a timeline on those next steps, but what would the activities be?
Yeah, no, great question, and those are all still to be determined. There's a lot still going on, and we're just likely focused on just the first step of safely removing these batteries and transporting them off-site, and then focusing on the damaged batteries and how to effectively remove those from the building. So still TBD on that.
And it might help people put things in context. The complexity of what you're describing of assessing the batteries and transporting, this is a very complicated process that really could take a lot of time.
It could, and the safety of the community and our employees is the top of mind, right? Too. So that's where the collaborative efforts to make sure we're well coordinated in any movement of a battery has been very important, and that's where that dynamic nature that you reference comes in. So again, safety top of mind, and that's what we're working through. But it is a dynamic and complex situation.
Thank you. I really appreciate you letting me add on to that. And then I think we've got one final question, Rick, and I'm hoping you will start for me. I'm hoping that we can continue to keep the public aware of what everybody's role is in this follow-up and this cleanup. Who's the lead, who's supporting, but it's the value of having state, federal, and local partners all working together on this work.
Yes. Ultimately, the County of Monterey is the lead. All of our state partners we are consulting with them to ensure that we have the right resources, that we're putting out the right information, that the interpretations are done right. The US EPA is taking the lead with the proper cleanup because they have the regulatory authority primarily. with cleanup for the batteries and the damaged sites. But everybody does have a specific role. There are specific kind of rules and regulations that point to specific agencies. Mr. Yaeger mentioned the Water Board who are following up on their jurisdiction with regards to water quality. The local health department, the County of Monterey is the lead for this effort because it is a local issue. We have our regulations related to nuisances. We respond to hazardous materials incidents every day in this county. We respond to hazardous materials, spills, fires. So it is ultimately the County of Monterey that has jurisdiction with regards to outside the fence issues. Inside the fence, it's the US EPA, but we are working in collaboration with them, supporting the US EPA with whatever support they need as they also support us. Cal EPA also supports us with providing some logistical issues and resources, as well as OEHA, Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment, to provide the toxicology interpretations. We are very thankful for all of the cooperation and resources and support that we have from all of our partners, local, state, and federal. But primarily, it is a local issue, County of Monterey, that is responsible for it, especially communicating out to the public everybody's roles, responsibilities, outcomes, and actions.
Thank you, Rick. Hasti, I see your hand raised. Please jump in.
Hello, if I can just provide some little tips for the reporters to help us better answer your questions, because we have so many agencies involved in these recovery efforts, and we have Fed EPA and Cal EPA involved. When you're referring to EPA, it could be either or, so it helps us when you specify Cal EPA versus US EPA. And then, as Rick suggested, when you're looking, the way we're looking at these efforts, we're dividing it up by offsite versus onsite. So anything onsite related to the battery removal process is going to be under US EPA authority. Offsite, for the community sampling plan, for example, county is the lead, but Cal EPA state agencies are assisting in providing that technical expertise. They provided technical expertise to establish and draft the community sampling plan, and they're assisting with some of the sampling activities. So it helps us out when you kind of think of it that way, offsite versus onsite, when you're asking questions.
Hasti, thank you so much for explaining that. And Rick, I think you'll agree that we're really fortunate to have the knowledge of Cal EPA and US EPA. Not only are they, state and federal agencies, but they come with a lot of knowledge to help us as we navigate the situation.
Yes, that is very true. The County of Monterey does really appreciate all of the assistance that the US EPA, Cal EPA, and all of our state partners have provided us, especially during these very, very challenging times when it comes to regulatory oversight and activities. So we really do appreciate all of the assistance. But also, the public should also be rest assured that your local agencies are here. We're not going away. We're here to follow up on everything that needs to be followed up on.
Rick, thank you so much. I have no more questions in chat for any of our presenters on this topic. If any questions do come in, we'll forward them to the appropriate place. And we do have one holdover that we'll be working on that was asked about. Thank you all very much for being here on this topic today. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
And now moving on to our second topic today, there are two incredible internship opportunities that are open and taking applications now for this coming summer. One is in technology and will happen at Joby Aviation, and another is in hospitality. Our friend Michael Artalejo from Monterey County Works is here to talk about these opportunities. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Maya. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So
tell us more. Joby Aviation, pretty exciting to have an internship there.
Yeah, 100%. Joby Aviation has been a great partnership for Monterey County Works over the last couple of years. We've been able to do some on-the-job training programs and previously internship programs. and we are ramping up for the summer right now. We have about 15 positions that we want to fill for this internship program. It falls under the umbrella of our technology cadre program. So we are currently accepting applications online through the MontereyCountyWorks.com website. You can find the tech cadre link there, and it says Joby Aviation on there. And we're looking for individuals between the ages of 18 to 24. Since this is a WIOA funded program, it's geared towards those that are out of school. So we've been taking these opportunities to reach out to the local schools that are have individuals graduating right now and try and encourage them to apply. There's multiple different opportunities within Joby Aviation, from administrative admin assistants there at Joby Aviation, facilities technicians, composite parts manufacturing technicians, and inventory associates. So, and there's more on the inventory side with the logistics and the supply chain and learning those ins and outs of Joby Aviation. And Joby has been great at the opportunity for the individuals, the interns, to learn, but not only learn, show what their work ethic is like. And it has previously led to direct placement once the internship program is over. There are individuals looking for that, and some of them are doing internships and then want to go possibly back to school. But we're open to those opportunities. It is a paid internship program. It pays $18 an hour. This week we are collecting the final sets of applications. It'll run until the end of this week for those applications that are coming in. Then next week we will set up some preliminary interviews. We want to make sure we do our due diligence. So the workforce, Monterey County Works, is doing orientations and interviews starting next week. The following week, those that interview and move on to the next step will do a second interview directly with Joby Aviation, and then Joby Aviation will let us know those that have been chosen to fill those spots, and we will run. They'll start doing their work June 16th. That'll be the actual hands-on, boots in hands, ready to go to work there in Marina date. And that's what we have going on with Joby Aviation right now.
So, and you also have a hospitality cadre, which, I mean, hospitality is one of our primary drivers, and there are jobs to be had, and good jobs in that industry.
Yes, 100%. We actually have individuals right now that are in our hospitality cadre. It's in its second week right now. So these individuals are coming to us. We are doing some soft skills building. And I always say that we're putting more tools in their toolbox. So once they're done with our in-house training, they'll have their food handler safety certification, OSHA 10 certification, and then we also have a hospitality and tourism certification through the American Hotel and Lodging Association. So they're going to have those credentials there. Then we're doing our internship with the hospitality local businesses and organizations here in Monterey County, and they'll start doing work as soon as June 2nd on paid internship and going through July 11th. We are currently in the process of looking for more hospitality providers that are interested in hosting intern. So again, we also have that on our website, MontereyCountyWorks.com. Any hospitality industry organizations, businesses that are interested in hosting an intern through Monterey County Works, we pay the hourly wages. We cover the insurance for that individual and any other training or supportive services that they need to be successful in there. And we hope that it leads to direct placement employment. Earlier, right before I got here, we just took the group to MPC, and they got a tour of the hospitality Excel program there at MPC. So opening their eyes to what's available for them throughout this. So just get, making the steps from I'm interested into hospitality. What does that really look like? Hands-on experience, furthering the education with regards to hospitality. So that's what we've been doing, and that's what we've done up to this moment with the hospitality cadre.
Okay, those hospitality businesses, now's the time to step up, right? And help train the next generation of concierge and managers and everything in between.
100%. This, this is their opportunity. Again, it's an internship, but use this as an opportunity to train and invest in the individuals for their future and for the future of your company. That we are funded through the WIOA program, so we're able to implement have these individuals there, and it's just the time and the effort and the mentorship that goes a long way for these individuals. And that your next Gordon Ramsay, your next hospitality person, it could be right here in this room, and take the opportunity to reach out to us and host an intern. We would appreciate that greatly.
Thank you, Michael, and best of luck on these cadres. And we hope to hear more about what happened at your technology cadre the next time you visit us.
Definitely. And actually, we just got a 2024 impact report. I will share that with you. And that gives a little details about all the previous cadres that we did last year. So that's a good information, and we'll make sure that you get a copy of that, so that way you can see what we've done, and then we can compare it next time around with what we're doing right now.
Sounds good. Thank you, Michael, very much. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then.